So, how many of you have been down here to South America? You guys been to South America? Awesome. See, I knew it. I knew these were the people. I heard about it for years. Well, what we're going to do right now is we're going to find out a little bit about Jaguar. But we're going to find out a lot about where he lives, what we can do to help him. And maybe some of you came here as ecotourists, and that's great. That's great. Anything helps. Maybe some of you are going to leave here as researchers. But I got to find out, what do you know? What do you know? What do you know about tropical rainforests? What do you think about it? You're humid and damp. Awesome. What else? I know you do. What? You know what? They discover 2 new species of birds every year. If you want to be a research scientist, it's a great place to do it, because you can go down, you can find a bug that nobody's ever seen before, name it after your second grade teacher that you didn't like. What else do you know about tropical rainforests? I can pick on adults too, can't I? What do you think of? When I say tropical rainforest, what do you think of? What's one thing? Humid. Yeah. Rain. Forest. What about the plants? Lots of them, few plants?
A lot.
A lot of plants. What about the soil? Thick soil for all those plants?
Yeah.
Yeah? You know what? It's not. Hey, F-16, come here a second. I'll borrow you. All right, turn around. We're going to make you a tree. Tropical rainforests have really thin layers of soil, which, if you think about it, they haven't had an ice age come down to break everything up, right? To make new soil. So the soil's really thin. Now, if a tree was like this and stood straight down, put your feet real close together.
Stay with mommy.
Now let's imagine that he's a tree, roots going straight down, not a lot of thick soil, and a windstorm comes along. Whoa! I didn't want to really fall. He's a method actor. Now let's change the way he's built. Get a bigger base. Stretch your legs out. Yeah, as wide as you can. Yeah, there you go. Now, dig your feet in nice. Now, what this is he's buttressed in place. Now, if a windstorm comes along, he's not going to move. All of you can do that if you want. You see anything like that here?
Yeah.
Come on out here. Take a look at this tree. This is, I'm sure all of you have read the book, The Great Kapok Tree. Well, this is a great kapok tree. See how its buttressed roots stick way out and hold that tree in place? Well, now you need to use your imagination. Pretend this tree was still alive and make it about 200 feet tall. You think it'd still be hollow? You know what? He's right. I mean, it wouldn't necessarily be hollow, but it could be hollow and still alive. The outside part of the tree is what's growing. Now think about this. I've got 200 feet of tree above me. It's dark in here, right? Can you think of any animals that might live up in here?
Monkeys.
Maybe monkeys, maybe ocelots on the outside, up on the outside. Yeah.
Tigers.
Owls. Now you're thinking dark. Good. What else? Think of an animal that comes out at night.
Armadillo.
Armadillos down here, definitely. Bats. Now, if I say have a couple hundred bats above me, what do you think I'm going to be standing at? Okay. Guano. There he goes. Bat droppings. Now, if it's dark, you think there's very many plants that live down here? There's going to be no plants here. So all of that guano dropping down here is feeding this tree. It's landed right on the roots. Now, everything in the tropical rainforest is kind of woven together like that, and we don't even really know how. We're just learning. Now, when this tree finally fell over, now my guess, maybe you can correct me. Use your own imagination, your observation skills. I think it was hit by lightning. See how that's charred? Now it fell over, and when it fell over, it had roots and vines were wrapped around it. It just ripped a hole out of the canopy, and it ended up being a spot of light down there. And pretty soon, plants started growing. Now, I just want to highlight one of these. I could talk about any one of these plants here, but we'll just do one for today. See this one up here? Anyone ever eat pineapple? Okay. This is not pineapple, but it's a relative. Pineapple's in the family of bromeliads. This is a epiphyte bromeliad, so it's up here. And that means it doesn't have roots that come down to get water. So how does it get water? Rain. Since I can't make it rain on command anymore, I'm going to make it rain here as well as I can. Watch what happens with the water. Where's that water going?
Down into the soil.
Yeah. It's going down, not into the soil, but into a cup. The leaves of the plant channel the water into a cup. Now we've got standing water in the tropical rainforest. What kind of animal do you think might use... When I say standing water, what do you think of? What's that? Mosquitoes. Lots of mosquitoes in there, right? Think that's a good thing?
No.
Well, it is if you happen to be a frog. Because the mosquitoes then are your... So some species of poison dart frogs will take their tadpole on their back, hop up here, drop their tadpole into that pool of water. What do you think the tadpole's eating? Mosquitoes. Natural pest control, right?
Yeah.
And when that tadpole grows up, who knows what it's eating, but it eats a bunch of things that somehow it's starting to manufacture its own poison. And I got something over here. It's kind of dangerous, so everyone needs to step back. I hit it.
I knew it. I saw it.
You know what this is here?
What?
Well, it's a poison dart frog, so what do you think this is?
Poison dart.
Poison dart. Now, the people that live in the tropical rainforest, and there's quite a number of them you might not have heard of. Some of them will use the poison from frogs to tip their arrows, or their darts in this case, for hunting. So they know how to use a lot of the products of the forest to get what they need. Now, how does that affect us? Western science has taken some of this poison, they've analyzed it, they found out, hey, we can use that as painkillers. But it's not on the shelf, you know why? We can't find enough frogs to do the tests. Anyway, I'm sure all of you weren't here just to find out about frogs and stuff, right? What's the animal you want to find out about? Everyone even, wow! Ocelot, okay, well, you know what? The thing about a jaguar in a forest like this is they are the top predator, which means that, imagine a pyramid, jaguar's on top. If I take away any chunk of that pyramid, what's going to happen to the jaguar? Boom, right? If you study the jaguar and something's happened to them, that means that there's a problem down here. If we can save the jaguar, we've saved the whole forest. So, let's find out about the jaguar. I need some tracking experts. Who's tracking experts? Okay. You're down on the ground. I think he's a good one. Do you see any tracks around here? All right. Well, let us follow the tracks. All right, tracking expert, you go first. I sent somebody else first because we're tracking a big meat eater. I'm not silly. Oh, you missed something, expert. Come here, come here. If you're ever tracking an animal, a lot of times it's good if you think like that animal. Okay? The jaguars, when they're tracking something, they walk right in the footsteps of the animal they're tracking. That way they can tell where it goes. Look at this. See this? He goes off the path a little bit. You see any signs of jaguar? Yeah? Maybe you have cats at home? Yeah. Okay. A lot of them have the same kind of instincts. They'll scratch to mark their territory too. Only, does Mr. Fluffer have one of these? Yeah? Yeah? You live in areas with wild animals. But they are retractable, right? So when you're tracking these cats, you see that the claws are retractable. Now, I gotta warn you of something. Alan Rabinowitz, who He's one of the main people in the Jaguar rescue. You know what he did? He was tracking a jaguar. He goes like 200 yards into the woods, and the tracks.
Go, Brett.
All right, almost good. You know what that means? It went somewhere in the forest, and he didn't know where it was. So he decides, I'm gonna go home. You know, because he knows what they eat. Anyone know what jaguars eat? Yeah. They eat meat. Lots of meat. They've got so much jaw strength they can pop through the skull of an animal. They can eat armadillos. Isn't he wise to walk around? So he decides he's going to go home. He turns around and he follows his own footprints out. You know what he finds? He only goes about 20 yards. He finds fresh jaguar prints inside of his footprints. He wasn't done for. The cat wasn't attacking him. The cat was just wondering, hey, my territory, didn't you see the sign? You know? But the point of that is, Alan didn't see the cat 20 yards away. Keep your eyes open. We can learn a lot of things by looking at this work and looking at all the clues we have. Everyone still want to go on?
Yeah.
Okay. I got to show you some tracks that I found earlier, and maybe you guys can tell me what they mean. Okay? Come on this way. That's kind of a mystery. I'm not very good at math. You're awesome at math? Okay, good.
Here.
Well, I know a little bit about tracking. Like I said, I'm not good at math, but I know a little bit about tracking. And I know that tracks usually, like a hoofed animals like this, point to where they're going. So which direction do you think these animals are going? Now, how many animals do you think are going into the bush? Yeah, 2. They got 4 legs, so they're walking like this, right? 2 animals. Now, I thought at first they might be a deer too, but I looked a little closer, and I noticed, yeah, well, the legs are too short, and it's pretty heavy, and they kind of push out. So think of an animal, and adults can help with this too. Think of an animal that has hooves, 2 toes that are hitting the ground. It's heavier and shorter than a deer. A little shorter than a giraffe, yeah. No, we're talking South America. It's good guess. Good guess. Tapir would be bigger, and different track. I'll show you tapir tracks later on. All right, I'll give you a hint. So it's kind of like an animal you might find on a farm.
Wild.
Well, actually, they're similar to a wild boar, kind of. If you imagine a wild pig, you get a good picture. They're called javelinas or peccaries. You ever hear of javelinas?
Peccaries.
Peccaries, yeah. Okay, so we got 2 peccaries going into the bush, and that wouldn't be much of a story, would it? So, where else? Should I look for some more tracks?
Yeah.
All right, let's go looking for tracks. Look around, see if you can find any other tracks. Oh my. Okay. All right, here's where I need the help with the math, folks. This is where I got confused.
Not much of English, but that boy over
No. All right. Here's my question. Number 1, if a jaguar is tracking another animal, where would the jaguar's tracks be?
Next, inside the print.
Inside the prints. Is the jaguar tracking the peccary? No. Just look. The jaguar is kind of going off this way. The peccary's going that way. How many peccary tracks do we have?
We have 1.
1.
There used to be 2.
That's my math problem. Were there 2 that went in?
Yeah, jaguars after 1 of them.
So, okay, that's one possible answer. Another possibility is, what if one of the peccaries turned into the jaguar? No? All right, so what I need you to do, using your tracking skills, we know that 2 peccaries came in, we know 1 peccary left and 1 jaguar left, so we should find tracks of 1, jaguar going into the bush, right? Look around here and see if you can find any tracks of jaguar going into the bush. See, look at this. How's my prediction? I told you we had famous trackers here. Look at this. How did I do that? How did I do that?
I shot those
All right.
back earlier.
Now, step back just a little bit, because you don't want to mess up the tracks. Actually, make a little pathway here. Can you come over here? Is this jaguar walking any farther? Jump. Is there a name? It's an animal that kills with one. Let me show you something else. I think maybe he's holes. So who can tell me the whole story? So we have a jaguar here. We've got went into the bush. Yeah, got one of them. The other peccary did. And then the jaguar. You know what you guys did? Without ever seeing a jaguar, you were able to tell, using your research skills, how the jaguar hunts, what the jaguar hunts, and all kinds of things. No, I too. She's an economist, right? Well, there's a lot of ways that you're connected with forest. Part of what you can do is, being extreme people like these guys here, doing research, going down and maybe finding out stuff. But there's other ways that we can help too. Now, of the other researchers here, how many of you have heard a lot of problems in the rainforest already? You already feel like you know what the problems are. How many of you would like to find out a way that you can actually help? I'm being fanned with the waves. She actually guessed it. This is a green roasted coffee. Coffee's important.